Well, hello guys, it's Thor, and today we are going to talk about Mercury retrograde, but we're going to be talking about all 12 signs today. So it's going to be a little bit different than the previous video where we talked more about the global implications of Mercury retrograde. We're actually going to get down to brass tacks, and we're getting down with the people, and we're going to tell you what your personal experience is going to be. So when you're looking at these monthly horoscopes, you want to check your ascendant sign and you want to check your moon sign. So those are the two signs you usually want to check if you're looking at like Mercury retrograde. Now this time it's in Virgo, so it's exalted in the sign of Virgo. So this is a very important Mercury retrograde. Also, one thing I wanted to bring up before we move forward here is the fact that during a Mercury retrograde, it's more about reviewing things. It's more about preparing and planning, where it's not really meant for implementation of those ideas. So when we're talking about all the different houses and the different signs here, think about it in more of a preparation type of way. So for example, if you're a Gemini, Mercury is going to be transiting your fourth house of Virgo. And this is going to be more of a time, like if you were looking for a house, to just be looking for a house, but not actually purchasing the house and signing the deal and getting the mortgage. You wouldn't want to do it during the 3-week period of Mercury retrograde. But it's okay to look and go on the websites and look at the listings and maybe even see a few houses. That's perfectly fine. That's what you can do during the Mercury retrograde. It's more to put you in a state where when October 2nd comes around, that's going to be when you want to implement your plans. So that's going to be the most important thing to think about this. So those of you guys that are new, please like and subscribe. My goal is 10,000 subscribers. And if you're interested in a reading, check for the details down below. And and it's 40% off, by the way, if you guys are interested in that. So let's go over this slide. This is from my previous presentation, but basically Mercury retrogrades between September 9th and October 2nd. It's 3 weeks long. It's in the sign of Virgo. It's exalted. So this is a really powerful energy shift. In general, for all the signs, it's not recommended to get married, buy a house, buy a car, start a business. This is basically a bad luck time. Do not sign anything during a Mercury retrograde. I've known people that have gotten married and it ended in divorce. So be careful. Also, there's communications breakdowns during Mercury retrograde and IT problems, missing texts, missing emails. It's all very common. So when you guys find that your electronics are like malfunctioning, know that Mercury retrograde is in full gear. All right, let's go right into the signs, guys. We're going to start with Aries. And Aries, let's put up the chart here. This is Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 6th house. So basically, you're going to be thinking about your health. There could be health issues during this time, so be careful. And this is also a good time if you need to see a doctor. You could see a doctor. There's no problem with that. You're not signing any contract by seeing a doctor. And also implementing a new diet and exercise routine is okay as well, because there's no signing contracts with that. Now, I know a person that's an Aries right now that's going through, because 6th house represents conflict, they're having like an argument with their neighbors. So this is something that you may have as well. There might be some sort of conflict that's being stalled during the 3 weeks of the Mercury retrograde. Also, this is going to be a good time for issues of debt and restructuring debt. So if you're trying to think about maybe consolidating your debt, this is going to be a really good time to do it. And also karmic debt repayment. You guys might be wondering, what does Thor mean by that? I mean, actually, when you think about karma, there are ways to remediate your karmic debt. So for example, using mantras or using energy healing or meditations. This is a good time to do it because the 6th house is all about that negative karmic debt that we hold. So Aries, I do recommend you do that during this time. Taurus, this is going to be in your 5th house, and 5th house is normally about children. So remember, when Mercury's retrograde, is going to be about misunderstandings about children, miscommunication about children. Maybe your children don't understand you. Maybe you're trying to get them to do their homework and they're not doing their homework, and there's a lot of issues there. There's a lot of miscommunication. Also, there may be a need to restructure the children's routines. So maybe you need to put them in soccer, or maybe you need to do something along those lines to keep them busy. This is also a time where if you're planning to have a child or a type of fertility treatment, this would be a time to plan for it during this Mercury retrograde. And also 5th house represents artists. So if you're an artist and you want to start a project, this is the time to make the planning. So get down the paper and the pencil, or the, you know, the iPad or the iPhone nowadays, and make those plans. If you guys are single and you guys are dating, there might be some stalled results there as well. So dating might be a little troublesome during the Mercury retrograde. So, you know, if you want to take it easy, just pull back from the dating scene for 3 weeks, and then things will get sorted out quite right. Let's go to Gemini, the next sign here. This is going to be in your 4th house. So 4th house can represent misunderstandings with your mother or mother-like figures. If your mother, say, has passed away, this could be a new understanding. You're going to be coming to a new understanding about how your mother maybe meant in your life. New understandings about the past and your mother. So that could also represent this mother type of energy. You also might be contemplating different improvements you want to make on your home, since 4th house represents home, homestead, and real estate. And this is also, it's a good time to plan a move if you want to move, but not a good time to actually implement the move, because you don't want to sign a lease and you don't want to sign a mortgage contract during this time. But you can plan, you can spot out areas, you can drive to those areas, you can look at houses, you can get all that ready for when October 2nd comes. So don't buy anything during this time, but it's a good time to plan. Those of you guys that are Cancer ascendant or Cancer moon, it's going to be happening in your 3rd house of Virgo. And this could represent siblings. 3rd house is all about siblings. There could be troubles or miscommunications if you have brothers or sisters. And this is also a great time if you're thinking about starting a small business, because 3rd house represents small business and self-earned wealth. This is a good time to create a business plan. Except don't actually incorporate during this time. Don't actually file the business license during this time, but have everything set up for the implement it when October comes around. Okay. Also, 3rd house represents short trips. So if you want to plan like a short little trip somewhere to Cancun or anywhere in the world, it usually represents like 3-4 day trips. So this is something where you can plan trips. Also, this is a great time to take up a new interest in arts, crafts, hobbies, or anything to do with your hands. So if you like, say, molding clay, or you like painting, anything to do with your hands is going to be highlighted during this time. Leo, you are next up, and this is going to be affecting your 2nd house of Virgo. And the 2nd house represents, well, it represents a lot of things in our chart, guys. So the 2nd house can represent things like your family of origin, your speech, your face, how you save your money, your value system, your sense of self-worth. So Leo, that's all going to be highlighted during this time. Okay, so there could be misunderstandings with your family of origin. Your family of origin is who you grew up with. Your mother, your father, your stepdad, your stepmother, whoever was in the household with you and shared their values with you. There also could be a restructuring in how you save or invest money. There might be opportunities to earn some more money during this time, and you're going to be better allocating those, reorganizing assets in your financial portfolios. And also, this is a good time to change your diet if you want to. So for example, if you want to become vegan, or you want to change some aspect of the food you eat, this is a good time to implement and plan those kind of things. Do your research. See if you want to do that before you implement it in October. 2nd house rules food. That's why we bring up the change of diet there. So let's go to the next sign here. We got Virgo. It's going to be going through your 1st house. So those of you that are Virgo, this is going to be all about rethinking your identity and who you are, who you look like. So you may be planning a new look. And it's really funny. I did a reading yesterday where somebody's a Virgo, and they actually said they decided to try a new hairstyle. So some of you guys are probably already doing that. But when you're reinventing your look, it could be personal appearance, hairstyle, clothing, tattoos. Maybe you even kind of want to change your attitude, you know, how you talk to people, change little mannerisms you have. This is going to be the time to do it. Also, there's a focus on bodily health in general. So if you want to get into fitness, or you want to go to the gym more, or you're thinking about that, this is the time to come up with that plan. Maybe you're not quite ready yet, but by October, you're going to be implementing that plan. Libra, you're next up. It's going to be going, so Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 12th house. Now, this is kind of a strange one in a lot of ways, because 12th house can represent misunderstandings or misinterpretations of messages from spirit guides, ancestors, dreams. So you may have dreams that you just don't understand, and you got to really study those, and maybe you're not going to understand it until the Mercury retrograde is up. So don't make any rash decisions. You know, don't interpret things very quickly. Also, you need to be careful with communicating with spirit guides. You might be misinterpreting what they're trying to tell you, because that's just all 12th house kind of things. This is a good time to plan a long-term trip. So 3rd house is like shorter trips. 9th house and 12th house are going to be like longer term trips to foreign countries. Also, you may be experiencing some losses, some financial losses. So you might have to actually deal with managing some of those losses, okay, and restructuring. Now, above all, this is a really good time, Libra, for reinvigorating your spiritual life, because 12th house is all about meditation, prayers, ashrams, spiritual centers. So if you're thinking about going on a retreat, this is a good time to plan it. Even it wouldn't hurt to go on a retreat during this time. Let's talk about Scorpio. Scorpio, Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 11th house. So there could be misunderstandings with friends, elder siblings, political ideologies, politicians, political rallies, and also just understanding the masses. The 11th house represents mass consensus, how most people see the world. So there might be a misunderstanding. You're not resonating with what the masses are thinking and speaking at this moment. So maybe not try to get involved during Mercury retrograde. This is also going to be a time where you reanalyze how you earn money, especially things like investments, because 11th house is salaries, investments, royalties, rents. This is going to be a great time to study cryptos. If you want to get into cryptos or the stock market, to do all that analyzing, because Virgo is all about getting into the nitty-gritty details. So Scorpio, you might want to look into that. And it's a good time to plan a new online business. 11th house represents online environments, internet networks, or social media presence. Reorganizing networks of any type. So let's say you just want to reorganize your home computer network. This is a great time to implement those or to make the plans for it. As long as you're not signing contracts, it's okay probably to even set it up. Sagittarius, this is going to be in your 10th house. There's going to be a career rethink here over this next 3 weeks. There could be misunderstandings with your bosses, government officials, and anyone that's in a leadership position. You might not quite see eye to eye, or you might not be understanding what they're trying to tell you. This is a good time to think about changing your career. So maybe there's things you don't like. Maybe you don't want to go back to office. Maybe you don't like the hours you work. Maybe you feel like you should get paid a higher salary. Maybe you don't feel like you're being respected in your job. This is a good time to start looking for opportunities. Not to get the job, but look for the jobs, not sign the job contract yet. So go on those websites. Go on Indeed, go on Monster, start looking at what's out there. Start getting a feel for what's out there, and also what you want to do. This is a great time to do it. Also, this is a great time to reassess your career life in general. So maybe you want to get a promotion. Maybe you want to work towards that. Or maybe you want to work towards more leadership opportunities. This is going to be the time to strategize, to be a little bit Machiavellian. Let's go to the next sign, guys. We're going to talk about Capricorn. This is going to be in your 9th house. So there could be misunderstandings with your father figures, gurus, ministers, teachings, even like priests, anybody involved with religion. There could be misunderstandings. This is going to be a great time for studying new philosophies, religion, dharmic texts. So maybe you want to read the Bhagavad Gita during this time, or maybe you want to read the Bible or the Dhammapada. This is a great time to do it, Capricorn. So if you're going to be feeling a little bit more religious during this time, this is also a great time for penance and karmic merit. So work on those mantras or work on those prayers and earn that karmic merit to, have a better life in the future. You also might be planning to go back to school or university. So ninth house represents university. If you're thinking about it, this is a great time to make that plan. Just don't sign up or sign out those FAFSA forms yet. Great time for studying anything metaphysical. Also planning a trip. So ninth house and 12th house is going to be more longer term trips. And also planning retirement. So if you're close to retirement, this is going to be a good time. The reason why we talk about retirement is it's 12th from the 10th house. So it's an ending of a career. That's what it means. Okay, Aquarius, you're the next person. Aquarius, this is going to be in your 8th house of Virgo. And it's going to be misunderstandings with in-laws, taxes. Maybe you're not quite understanding how to file taxes or how to claim on your taxes or how to fill out certain forms for your business or your work. Also, there might be misunderstandings about insurance settlements, inheritance disputes with other family members, traumatic situations. There might even be drama if you have hidden romantic partners. There could be drama, so be careful, Aquarius, be very careful, Aquarius. These things come out because Mercury is the planet of communication and information. This is going to be a great time, Aquarius, to study the occult and mysteries, since 8th house represents the occult. So anything like astrology, palmistry, crystals, healing, Reiki healing, that's going to be a great time. And this is also going to be a good time for you guys to make adjustments to your taxes, insurance paperwork, but not sign anything yet. You can have it all ready, just don't sign. And you may actually learn of other people's secret affairs during this time. So things are going to be coming to light for you. Finally, we're at Pisces. Pisces, this is going to be in your 7th house of Virgo. This is all going to be about your marriage partner, your long-term romantic partner, your business partner, or even attorney. Okay, there's going to be misunderstandings there. You're going to want to maybe reassess, your relationship with people. So if you're married, your spouse, is there some sort of behavioral change you want to enact? Or is there something you want to discuss about the relationship? Maybe something's not going the way you want it. This is going to be the time to review that, to really reassess all types of relationships, business partnerships, and romantic partners. You may want to try and work out any disagreements. So during this 3 weeks, there's going to be this idea of dialogue between the partners. Also, if you're planning a lawsuit or you're planning on suing somebody, this might be the time where you plan, but you don't launch the lawsuit yet. You're in the planning phase. You're putting together the lawsuit. Planning a legal strategy is going to be good. And also, this is going to be a good time for a career change, Pisces, because 10th from 10th. So even when we're dealing with the 7th house, we're still dealing with the career matters. So this is a great time to deal with career. So thank you, guys. I feel like we went through all those signs pretty quickly. Let me see if there's any comments in the chat. All right. Thank you, Devika, for being here. And I want to thank everybody for being here in general. The main thing, like I said earlier, is during the Mercury retrograde, you don't want to implement the changes. You want to reassess, reevaluate, plan your goals. And it's interesting because that's what the sign of Virgo is all about. So it's going to be reassessing things, but not implementing things. So that will be your focus. Whatever sign that we went over is going to be mostly what you're focusing on. And you may even find that it just happens to be what you're thinking about during this time, because that's how the planets work. You're going to be like, wow, Thor, I actually was kind of thinking about that. And this is what's been entering my reality frame. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please like it. Please comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and take care.